Boom. All right. Happy Friday, everybody. LT is in the building. We have Leo Simpson II in the building. We have Kelvin Bell in the building. We have Anne Marie. We have LaTondra. We have Stephanie. We have a full house tonight. And I just want to say thank you for being with us, because you could be anywhere in the world. You can be in Australia, China. Well, no, not really, because we're under COVID-19, but you literally could be watching something different on TV right now, but you decided to come and join us. And you're in for a special treat. Tonight, the topic is spoken or written. Which words have more power? Do not miss this lesson on word power by Leo Simpson II. He is a 3-time author, executive manager, and podcaster. The name of his podcast is #The Extra Mile with Leo. And it's all about mindset, inspiration, life enrichment, and you guys are in for a really, really special treat. So in the chat, could you please write one word, type one word, how you're feeling tonight and what you're looking forward to tonight? Either one of those questions. Just put something in the chat. And if you're not sure how to use the chat, don't worry about it. I'll let you talk at the end. No worries. Boom. Okay. So what is the purpose of this? Okay. So this Friday night webinar series is a series of webinars that are included in my online course. And these are free webinars, and it has to do with all things writing, sales, marketing. How do you get your word out there? How do you get your books out there? Basically, how do you get your books done? Because in the world of self-publishing, everything is on you, which is great because you get all the rewards of the royalties, but you also get 1,000% of the hard work and blood, sweat, and tears that it takes to put into your book. So the purpose of this is to create a positive environment. You see the sunshine in the middle, right? My mom calls me in the morning and she says, "Hello, sunshine." And so that's one of my gifts to the world is I'm happy. I smile, even when I'm not happy. I smile and I help bring other people up, because why are we here? We're supposed to enjoy our lives. So one of the things I do in the morning is I say, okay, it's going to be a great day. These are the things I'm grateful for. And every person that I meet, I'm going to smile and help to make their day. And I've been doing that for years. And that is a gift. And it is a very special gift that I take very seriously. So this environment, the purpose of this is to have a very close-knit, very positive, very encouraging and uplifting environment. Because when you are in that kind of environment, that's where you are able to learn and to grow. So I want to welcome you to our Friday night webinar series. Okay, so these are some of the house rules. Please use the chat box whenever you can, because we're going to communicate a lot. And I don't just expect you to just sit here and be quiet. Like, I expect you to engage and participate. But because we are recording, I do need a lot of the conversations to be happening in the chat box. And then that way we can answer those questions as we go. Try to click everyone if you can. Because if you just send one message to one person, then the rest of us won't be able to see it. So just make sure that in the chat, you're communicating with everyone. And turn your microphone off until the very end. Turn your camera off until the very end. We will take a group photo. So who is this webinar for? This webinar is for busy people who have lots of projects, who are goal-oriented, who are super overachievers, right? We want to write books and we want to make an impact in the world, and we want to make a difference on the lives of other people. So sometimes when us overachievers really get the wheels turning and we really get in a zone of genius, sometimes we get overwhelmed and sometimes we get frazzled, and sometimes we set deadlines that are maybe a little bit too unrealistic and not really gonna work. And so that's why we need a team of people around us who are gonna support us give us gentle reminders, give us some insight that maybe we didn't have. They're going to give us some information that we don't know. So having a team surrounding you is an excellent thing for somebody who is really on the cutting edge and trying to be a mover and a shaker. Hey, welcome, Dolores. Go ahead and turn off your sound and turn off your camera. We are recording. Okay, we are going to also, one of the reasons why we have this group is for the purpose of networking. And so on a Friday night, somebody who is in this circle is somebody who is serious about their brand, serious about their product, serious about their book idea. And these are folks that are very much well connected and very much well positioned to be able to help lots and lots of people. So I want you to also think of this time as an opportunity for you to show up and to promote yourself. Because there's no way that you're going to be able to get the word out unless you share with people what it is that you do. So I always share, I share myself, and then I leave room at the end for everybody to be able to share. So your elevator speech, when you hear me say that again, you're going to have an opportunity to tell us who you are, what you do, and why we care. And the last one is basically why we care. What problems are you solving in the world? What products are you producing? What services are you giving? What are your hobbies? There may be someone in this group that can help you get to the next level in your business. There may be someone in this group that can actually help you solve a problem in your life, a major pain point that you've been trying to overcome. So pay attention as you're listening to these elevator speeches, because if someone is here that can help you, connect with them. That's the purpose of having a success circle of people who are supportive of you and what you're trying to achieve in the world. So welcome to the building. These are all high achieving people. These are all good quality people. So you are in a very, very, very safe place. And just like Kelvin said at the beginning, if you feel a hunch, your hunch is probably right. It's leading you into a direction, and you just need to go ahead and have faith over fear and follow your heart, which is that hunch, which tells you what you need next at the next part of your life. All right, so you will get a free gift at the end. I have lots of ebooks. If you're interested in ebooks, also known as digital downloads, let me know at the end and I will email you a digital download. I have digital downloads that deal with procrastination, how to take care of yourself when you're overwhelmed, self-care. I have ebooks that are about sales and marketing. I have so many different ebooks and digital downloads on my computer. I give them away for free. So just remind me at the very end, hey, LT, can you pass me the digital download that you have on how to fix your credit? Because yeah, I bought a digital download that talked about how to fix your credit, and I've only actually looked at it like twice. So I'm happy to share that with you guys. If you need a digital download, that's basically a worksheet or a 20 to 30 page booklet that tells you how to do something in your life. So if you need something, let me know. Just for you spending this time with us, I give away lots of freebies. So thank you guys again for coming into the building. Miss Nicole Mack is in the building. Thank you so much. Please, we are recording. Turn off your video, turn off your sound if you haven't already, and prepare yourself at the very end, Nicole, for an elevator speech where you will tell us about your goods and services, because I know you're over there making big money moves, girlfriend, with your new business, and I'm proud of you. All right. Who is LT? Who is this lady talking to you guys? So my name is Latasha LT Jimerson. I also go by LT the Buddy Teacher. I am an author. I've written 5 books on my own and self-published them. I am a book coach, which means that I help people write their own books and self-publish them from A to Z, 0 to 60 real quick. I can help you with every single stage, from cover design to formatting, all of it. And Kelvin can tell you about what we did with his book, which was amazing, in about 2 months. I'm a classroom teacher. I teach high school history. I've also taught psychology, government, economics, English. I've taught financial literacy for a year. And so I have a lot of experience, 17 years experience in the classroom teaching. Started at the middle school level, worked my way up to the high school level, and now I'm happy to be teaching self-publishing to adults. I'm also a course creator. I did not put that on this slide for some reason, but I just created about 11 or 12 courses. And so I just basically upgraded my school to a university. So I am up to a lot of stuff. I love working, I love teaching, and I love learning. So that's why I told Leo, I said, tonight I'm going to speed through my slides because I'm such a good teacher, but I'm also an excellent learner. And I cannot wait to learn what Leo is going to teach us tonight. So that's why I said, I'm going to speed through it, Leo. And he said, no, just calm down, just relax, it's okay. So I'm going to relax a little bit, but I'm going to start speeding up in a minute. I'm also a speaker. I have a YouTube channel with motivational videos and people pass them on. So if you're in a bad mood, text me, say, hey, LT, pass me one of your motivational videos. I'll be happy to do that. Okay, so let me slow down a second. Imagine in your future, close your eyes. Do like a little woo-saw. Imagine in your future what your life is gonna look like 5 years from now. Put in the chat what you think your life is gonna look like 5 years from now. This is a little visualization activity I like to do. And while you're doing that, I'm gonna go ahead and read what's in the chat. All right, Anne-Marie says, hello, Anne-Marie, first Zoom meeting, allow. I teach online, teams to high school. Awesome. Stephanie said, fresh inspiration. iPhone said, looking forward to the new challenge. Okay. Kelvin said, sleepy yet awake to feed from Leo's table. Yes, hard work indeed, yet worthy of outcomes of knowing I survived the process and can do it over and over and over and over again. Thank you, Kelvin. Awesome. Coach Max says, thanks so much for the introduction, Latasha. Greetings to all. Yes. Kelvin says, I would have encouraged at 5,000 people with my Eden. Oh, yes. Eden Centricity Energy. That is the name of Kelvin's new book. And he wants to encourage 5,000 people over the next 5 years. And I'm just going to go with 5 million. How about that? Put that in your pipe and smoke it, because you're going to really impact lives, Kelvin. You're going to be around the world. So I would even say 5 billion. Okay, let's go high. Dolores says, I am learning new tools to teach elementary children. Kelvin says, I receive it. That's right. If you're a public speaker, I believe you need to speak life into other people's lives. You need to speak life into the dead places of the earth. You need to spread good news all around, from this corner to the east, to the west, to the west, to the north, to the south. You got to speak life into people's lives. That's what we're meant to do, and that's what I'm going to do. And now I'm going to go to my next slide. Boom. Okay, so this is my story. And basically, I tell you guys in my book, I tell you how I struggled with boundaries. I struggled with being a career woman, being a mother of little children, being a wife. And I just basically struggled and struggled and struggled and tried to figure out, what do I do with my time and my space, and how do I carve out, you know, a space for myself, and how do I take care of myself when I'm so responsible for all these other people? And so that's what that first book was about, figuring out how to establish boundaries, figuring out how to heal from all these different ailments, right? And the ailments, I noticed, were created by emotional issues that I had buried from childhood trauma. So that's what that first book was about. And when people read it, they were so inspired by it that I was like, oh my gosh, okay, I have a voice. People are interested. Like, I thought my story was so boring, because all I did was go to work, teach, come home, make dinner, go to bed, read a book, maybe if I had time, you know, get the laundry done. I just figured nobody's really interested in any of this like career mom stuff. That's boring. Well, lo and behold, you know, people felt like this was a story that resonated with them. And so one person said, when are you going to write your next book? Because I read your book in a few hours and I need you to write another one. And I was like, oh my gosh. Okay. So here we are 5 books later, and people are still resonating with my story. I'm still struggling with work-life balance because I'm a workaholic and an overachiever, and I'm very proud to say that. Type A personality, AKA control freak. Yes, I embrace all of that because that is who I am. And so lots of struggles, and I'm still writing about them, and I'm still, of course, creating around those things because those are the things that make me who I am. So that's a little bit about my story. I hit rock bottom in 2003. That was actually my first year teaching. I was already frustrated by the end of the year, wondering, did I pick the right job? That was 2003, y'all. Here we are in 2020. And the job has not gotten any easier, to be honest with you. The demands, the stress, the Zoom meetings now, overwhelming. That's all I'm going to say is overwhelming. But that situation actually led me to my glory because I was able to write about that and document my journey. And providing that documentation made it okay for other people to share and to express that they were feeling the same way. So sometimes when you're in a valley and you feel like, man, this is a rock bottom moment, don't worry. I'm going to tell you like Les Brown. He says, when you land on your back, try to look up, because if you can look up, you can get up. And I know I probably butchered that quote, but basically it means just look up, because even if you're down at your lowest point, the good news is you ain't got nowhere to go but up, honey. So take that and make that an encouraging thought for you this week. So the transformation, this is me at a library event, selling my books, giving people my business cards, getting the word out there. This was so cool because they treated me like a local celebrity. The library, if you go to the library, guys, it is so quiet and boring in there. If you tell them you're a local author, they will roll out the red carpet for you. These people, they did so many good things for me and my self-esteem, because I had written the book, but I was like, ain't nobody gonna buy this book, whatever. And so they had multiple events for authors in general, but they also gave me 2 events that were just focused on me. And so I was like, whoa, that was an amazing networking opportunity. And that transformed my life and allowed me to stand up a little bit taller as an author. Okay, so I have, in addition to being a coach, I also told you I'm a course creator. So I just created a course. It's called the New Authors Workshop, and it starts on October 15th. And it teaches you step by step by step by step exactly how to write your book, exactly how to save your manuscript, how to polish your manuscript, how to upload it, how to market, how to sell, how to use social media, everything you need to know that nobody ever put in a book is all a part of my course. The regular cost, the total value would be over $8,000. The regular cost is $3,000. Today's price is $1,500, and that is a 50% discount for you guys just for being on this webinar. There's fast action bonuses, which means if you act right away, you're gonna learn how to create audiobooks, digital downloads, and I'm also teaching you how to create an online course. All of that coaching, if you were to go to a coaching guru, they would charge you 10, 15, 20,000 for their time to coach you through all these steps. I'm offering you a discount of $1,500 tonight. Actually, up until we start on the 15th, that offer is good. So thank you guys for being here, because you are the first people to lay your eyes on this brand new course, which what I've done is I've taken the other courses that I've created and I pared them down into one mega, better, super amazing course. So this is actually the only course right now that I am focusing on. So this is the bread and butter of what I do. All right, so If you act right away, you get 2 extra weeks of learning how to sell books on your website, how to create digital downloads, how to create an audiobook, how to create an online course, how to create an email subscriber list, a sales funnel, free webinars, and free Facebook community. That is all the stuff that I have learned to do on my own by going to YouTube University and basically trial and error. So I have a system to help you take like years off of the learning curve. So if you're interested, I'm going to stay on here probably about 20 to 30 minutes longer after we're all done. So if you're interested in learning about how to do any of these things, just stay on the Zoom a little bit longer and we'll talk individually about how you can get started. These are some of my case studies. I'll let you guys read them. I'm going to take a drink of water. Jackie's a good friend of mine. I met her through one of my buddy teachers. Her daughter is a teacher, and we met at a middle school, and we had the same students, so we were immediately bonded because we went through the struggles. I like to say we were in the trenches together, because middle school, you know, it was a little traumatizing for both the kids and the teachers at the middle school level because it's a little crazy. But anyway, so Jackie and I connected through her daughter, who's a language arts teacher at a middle school that I taught at a long time ago. Dr. Terrence Meekins is my pastor. I helped him write his book years ago, and he still, every month, he sends me a text message that says, hey, I sold at least 5 books this month. I think last month he sold like 14 books, and he was all excited, and I'm excited too, because look, I'm helping people write their story, get their word out, and they're making money. Like that is the best joy in my whole life. There's nothing greater than that, for me to know that I help somebody create generational wealth for their grandchildren. Like, that's really deep to me, and I really appreciate that. Then we have Miss Dolores in the middle, and she says LT is very professional and will not stop coaching until she is confident that you have gained the knowledge and skills needed to be productive. Absolutely. There's more of these testimonials that you guys can read on my website, which is www.ltthebuddyteacher.com. Here's another case study, one of my good friends, Mr. Christie. He says, Latasha Jimerson's constant support was an essential in my goal. On a scale of 1 to 10, I have to give Latasha a very high 10. Not only did she support me through a process that let me write and not worry about what to do with it to where I am today. She encouraged me to go to conferences and join writers support groups. All in all, Latasha Jimerson has made her passion for writing an instrument for all writers to follow. Thank you, Mr. Christie. He's also a retired teacher, one of my buddy teachers. We never physically taught at the same school at the same time. He retired before I started, and I ended up inheriting his classroom. And his furniture had his name on it. And the students at the school would tell me, Miss Jimerson, you should have met Mr. Christie. You have like the same kind of energy. And I was like, wow, maybe one day I will meet Mr. Christie. And then thanks to Facebook, a couple years later, I ran into him. And he said, hey, you published a book? And I said, yeah. He goes, I need help. And I said, well, let's get on the phone or let's go to Starbucks. I don't know which one we did, but I just talked to him for a few hours. And he was like, you know what? I have a book that I wrote when I was in Vietnam 20 years ago. And I said, cool, how many pages is it? He said, it's 500. I said, oh, no, honey. You need to have a multi-volume set of books. You need to have 5 books with 100 pages so you can constantly collect on them royalties. And he's like, oh, okay. So now he has 3 books out and he's on his 4th, I think. Yeah, serious business, y'all, serious business. All right, so for the course, like I said, it starts on the 15th, it ends on November 30th. And basically what I want you to do is unwrap your book for Christmas, okay? I want you to give your family members your book for Christmas, literally. Like, I've done it before. It's amazing when they open up a gift and it's something written by you. Like, there's nothing more special than that. You're going to learn how to run a special on your website. If you're interested in that, you're going to get a workbook in the mail. All right. And if you want to stay after and let me know if you're interested. Here's one of my students who I actually taught her. She was in my English class when I taught at an online high school. She took my government class, and then I think she had economics. Yeah, economics and government with me. And she went to college, and then we connected on Instagram. And I told her, I said, look, I'm creating an online school. So I need you to like examine my work and tell me how I'd like, give me a grade. So look at this, the student becomes the teacher, right? Because she was an excellent student. Her name is Shelby. And she wrote this for me. This was so amazing. She said, the one-on-one sessions are amazing. You are able to discuss any specific problems you may have, you may be having, or even talk about things you've been successful in that the courses have pointed out. I would absolutely recommend this to anyone looking to grow as a person and as a professional. So she took a course that I created called Your Gifts, which teaches you what your purpose is in life, what your God-given gifts are, and what the heck you're supposed to be doing. So she benefited from that course, and then she took like 3 other courses of mine too. And so she's one of my favorite testimonials. All right, let me check this chat. Oh, affiliate marketing. This is for people who are networkers and who love to share. If you share about my course, the course is $1,500. I offer 30% commission, so you can make $450 by just referring someone to my course. You get that money in your pocket. Kelvin's one of my affiliates. I have a couple other affiliates that have taken my course before. And so if you're interested in that, let me know. And in order to be an affiliate, you must enroll in the Self-Awareness University, where I teach you how to accept, embrace, and tell your story. And if you want to sign up for free, you can enroll in the university for free, but then you look around and you decide which courses you want to buy. So that website is selfawarenessacademy.teachable.com. All right. Okay, boom. Let me read the chat real quick. Are you guys ready for Leo? Are you guys ready? I told you Leo has a voice that's like booming, better than Barry White, yo. Better than Barry White. Okay. What is up in the chat? Coach Mac, in 5 years, Matt Griffin's motivational grind will be up and running, successful and global. That's what's up. Global. We'll be in China. Yes, we're going on tour, okay? Kelvin says, yes, case studies indeed. These are wonderful people. Kelvin says, heck yeah. Stephanie says, ready, ready. Coach Mac says, yes. I haven't heard from Dolores or LT or Anne Marie. Hey, that rhymes. I need to hear from y'all. Are y'all ready for this podcaster? Are y'all ready for Leo Simpson, the second author, executive manager, podcaster? Boom. Let me see. Are we ready? Are we ready? Let me find out. Dolores said, bring it on. iPhone said, yes. All right. Leo is in the building. Leo, you just let me know your transition word. I'm getting ready to be quiet and turn my mic off so you can go ahead and start. Boom.
Awesome. Awesome. Can everybody hear me really well? Let me see it in the chat box. Let me see it. Make sure everybody can hear me. All right. Good, good. So I want to start real quickly by first appreciating Latasha and each of you for this absolutely awesome privilege to be able to share with you, to impart some words of wisdom, inspiration, impact, all those beautiful things. One of the things that's pretty cool, I was thinking about a lot of the things that Latasha was talking about, and I'm going to talk a little bit about our connection real quick, and then After that, I'll jump into really where I want to go with you. But she made that statement about Les Brown's quote. So I'm gonna go ahead and give it to you and let you guys know exactly what she was trying to say. Les Brown says, "If life knocks you down, try to land on your back. Because if you can look up, you can get up. Let your reasons get you up." You see, and that's what he said. It's the fire that Les Brown brings in that. I tell you, Les has certainly been a huge impact in my life. You know, when I talk about my story a little bit in my story in just a little bit, I may not bring him up. Just know the things that I'm talking about, he's behind it, as well as a number of other people. So let's jump into this. I think it's going to be really exciting. So Latasha and I connected via LinkedIn, and I want to say that because I think it's important that you all know that we live in a time where connections are not like they were as they used to say when I was growing up in the old days. We have more means of being able to connect, and I want to make sure you know that when you connect virtually, it can feel as real and as organic as in person. But that's a condition of the thought process you have in your mind. Okay. I want you to understand that the things you think are very important in that regard. I'll give you an example. I was at a conference one time and there was an influencer who was on the stage. I mean, huge level of influence. And they were talking about, you know, the importance of picking up the phone and making those phone calls, connecting with the people you want to connect with and do the things you need to do. And they made this statement that literally ticked me off inside. They said, "You cannot feel emotion through text." And I just said, "Are you serious?" Because text is nothing but words. And I won't get into where I'm going. I'm going to jump ahead of myself. But text is words. And if you have the ability to paint the appropriate and most effective pictures with words, I mean, why wouldn't you be able to feel emotion through text? I mean, and I'm gonna get back to that. So let me jump off and get back on track. So who is Leo Simpson II? So I'm going to say that there's one word, there go that word again. There's one word that describes who Leo Simpson II is. But I want to ask you guys before I jump into it. When you look at this picture, what's something that you think about? One word or a few words that describe this picture. Go ahead. Let me give you a quick moment to do that. Okay. I see Kelvin says familia. 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 Yes. Happy family. Okay. All right. All right. Happy family. We got love. Okay. All right. Thanks, Dolores, for love. Let's see. Anybody else? All right. All right. Beautiful family. Okay. All right. So when you look at it, you all see family. All right. And that's wonderful. I love it. Might be some others coming up, but I want to go ahead and maximize the time. I want to say that this picture speaks river. Who is Leo Simpson II? So I would describe myself as a river. And before meeting my wife, when I look back on it, I was a river that had a beaver dam, that it was flowing, but it was flowing up to a point, right? And then I met my wife and we brought our lives together. And literally that was like removing the beaver dam. And then my girls came in, and when they came in, they extended my ability to make a contribution, not just in the lives of others, but contribution that I really want to make without being able to have the connections and the relationships with them. And the level of commitment, focus, and impact and, very focused. How would I put it? There's a word I'm trying to pull out. Very focused attentiveness. That's the word I was looking for, to who I am and what I do. It flows through them. And if I'm going to make an impact in this world, in the lifetime that I exist, it's got to start right there and making sure that I keep this connection with my wife and my children very thoughtful, very focused. And what is it that helps me to do that? I think that's the subject matter of our time today. And so that brings us to now talking about what it is that are my core beliefs. So when I think about who I am and what it is that I am and what it is that I believe, it's something that is not just about me. It's not just about what I need to know. The core beliefs with regard to the perspective, and Tasha, I'm ready to go to that next slide when you're ready. So the core beliefs that I have are very intentional. First and foremost, they're intentional because of an attentiveness that I've taken to myself and really wanting to understand, listen to this carefully, my purpose. But purpose a lot of times can seem to be very elusive in its terminology. It can seem to be very general. I mean, we say it so much to where it's like maybe it doesn't really carry the weight. So what is purpose though? And so for me, I had to really get a very direct, intentional perspective about that to make sure that I was able to move forward with great commitment and focus. And that which I have been able to identify and define purpose as is, watch this, clearly defined expectation for my existence. Okay? Clearly defined expectation for our existence. And so when you have a clear, defined expectation for your existence, it really doesn't matter what anybody else is doing. It doesn't matter what anybody thinks you should be doing. It matters that you know what that clearly defined expectation is, and then everything about you flows out of that. So when you look at these core beliefs of mine, they are literally like the river. Rivers flow into streams, they flow into creeks, and then in many instances, rivers flow back into seas and oceans. And so when you look at this, it starts with my core belief is I need to contribute, okay? If I'm not contributing, guess what I'm doing? I'm receiving or taking or just focusing on being a consumer. Now, this one, contribute, is one that's very near and dear to me. I have some content that I teach on that's called the 3 C's of life. And contribute is the top level. Then you have compensation. Contribution is the top level. You have compensation, and then you have consumption. And these three are realities that we all exist in and we must flow through. But the key part of these three is which one do you prioritize? See, we got to deal with all three, but which do we prioritize? So I prioritize contribution. I don't just want to be somebody who seeks compensation and seeks to be compensated. I don't just want to be someone who seeks to consume and to be a consumer, and it's all about what I can get. I want to be a contributor. That's the main piece of what a river does, right? And so then a river also inspires. It breathes into. Now you say, Leo, water is wet. So how is it breathing? Well, there's a significant amount of oxygen in water. So it is actually breathing into and providing a certain level of oxygenated benefit and value. And so to inspire means to breathe into. And when I think about inspiration, I think about it from the context of CPR. So when someone is in a position to where they've lost their breathing capacity, maybe they've drowned or they've choked or, they've experienced some other type of situation, they're in a position to where one thing that may be very helpful is some breathing going in to help stimulate their breathing to be re-engaged again. So when I think about mindset inspiration, I think about it to the degree that you were breathing and now you have the ability to breathe, but you're not. And so you need something that's going to help to get you past that point of not breathing and awaken and stimulate your breathing ability that you have. So that's what inspiration really deals with within the context of how we deal with life when it comes to trying to grow and tap into our potential. Like, you need somebody like a Latasha to come in and breathe into you and get you like Kelvin is now, that, man, I got my first book. That's inspiration. All right. So let me slow down because I got excited on inspiration. Oh, man. And then enriching. It's about enriching. Betterment. That's what enriching is. Betterment. And so just like inspiration gets you to that next point and helps you to continue to move forward, the enriching is the manifestation of that. The enriching is that part of you that causes you to become more excited about the possibility of being able to be more, not just attain more, but to become more. And that's really the whole point behind enrichment, which is why when you look at my family and you say beautiful family, well, there's some intentionality behind that. There's some contribution going into their life. There's some inspiration going into their life. And to be very honest, I wouldn't even be able to be sitting before you today, giving you this value if it were not for that family. Okay. And then create. We must create. Now, we are creatures that were created to procreate. And that means to out of ourselves to create more. Okay. And with regard to that piece of creation, it is such that we create in a way that no other creatures are able to create. An elephant, I don't care how big an elephant is, it cannot do what we can do. A lion, they call it the king of the jungle, but it cannot do what we do. I even saw a giraffe fight off a number of lions. I mean, the giraffe was bad. I mean, moving carefully and slowly, but I mean, just putting it down on, it was about maybe 6 or 7 lions. I mean, he was taking them out. But even still, the giraffe, with all of its height and stature and magnificence, it cannot do what we do. And so that brings us to where we're going next to talk about, and that is what? My story. But my story is probably just like your story. Now, when you look at this, let me tell you real quickly a little bit about Leo. I have a background in accounting. My bachelor's degree is in accounting from Grambling State University. GSU. Okay, let me stop. And so I'm very much so a guy that, talks numbers, listens numbers, equations. But also, I was a math guy. I won a math competition when I was in middle school. No, going into middle school. And I've been around numbers all my life. My mom, she worked in the accounting arena. My dad was an electrician and a number of those things. So numbers were really huge to me. So equations are a huge part of my life. And when you get into accounting, you can't get away from equations. I mean, they are the fundamental reality. Income statements, balance sheets, all those different things, cash flow statements, they all deal with equations. So it was a great setup for me. Well, when you look at this, so you say, what is Leo's story? In a nutshell, I am the product of pain and perspective. Now you say, Leo, how you get that from what's on the page? Well, it says pain times perspective equals I am. But here's the thing. What is the answer to a multiplication problem? It's a product, right? And do we not use the times or multiplication as a representation of and because of the manner in which we bring it together? Yes, we do. So when I was really putting this together for you all, I said, man, I want to be able to show the power of words, not just talk about the power of words. So here's a symbol or an equation that literally is able to be described in terms that I am. My story is that I am the product of pain and perspective. Well, what is some of the pain that I'm a product of? I'm a product of my own pain, self-induced pain, being a quitter, having the ability to excel and not doing so. But why didn't I do so? There was a fundamental issue in my perspective. Oh my goodness. There was a fundamental issue in my perspective. But at what level? Well, we're going to get back to that. Then, what was some other areas of pain? Well, my mother died when I was just 23. She died of breast cancer. But even with the pain of her death, there was a 7-word perspective she shared with me that literally was critical in who I am today. Oh my goodness. I'm excited, y'all. Oh, and then between the time that my mother passed in 2006 up to December of 2019, in that 13-year period, I experienced the passing away of my dad's mother, the passing away of my mother's mother, and then the passing away of my father. Oh my goodness, what pain. Not to mention between the time frame of 2011, I'm actually 2010 up to now, there was some experiences that I had that forced me to have to be isolated from the world that I knew, from the people that I loved, in order to know who I am, to understand who I am, to have the right perspective about who I am, as well as the right perspective of my pain, so that I can appropriately, effectively, and adequately execute in delivering upon that clearly defined expectation of my life. And one of the things I want to give to you is, when it comes down to pain and perspective, being the essence of who we are, I want you to think about this quote from Napoleon Hill. He says, "Every adversity brings with it the seed of an equivalent advantage." And I use this analogy with my oldest daughter, but I use it in the things that I teach, and that is Murphy. Everybody knows Murphy's law. At least I think they do. If they don't know it, how to articulate it, you experience it. And that is, anything that can go wrong, it will go wrong. And I like to add, at the least desired time. And the beautiful part about that reality, that law, is that even though Murphy is something we don't want or don't prefer, the fact that it's going to come and be the very context of adversity, what we know is, if every adversity brings with it the seed of an equivalent advantage, we do know that, watch this, we are in the position to where we can be excited about Murphy. Why? I told my daughter, I said, think of Murphy as like a UPS driver. I used to work for UPS and train drivers and supervise and manage, right? And I said, listen, everybody looks for the UPS driver, right? Well, what happens is, if you're expecting a UPS driver, he's bringing you something wonderful. Guess what? You are going to be ready for when he comes or she comes to give you exactly what you're looking for. It's the same thing that you got to look at for those others. So let's move through this quickly, because I think I'm at the point to where I've kind of set the stage, and now we can go and we can really talk about something special, which is the point of what we're talking about. So this passage of scripture here is one that I heard a lot during my life, and I wanted to bring it up because there's a question, as you see on the screen, that I want to ask. Let's read the text here, and then I'm gonna ask the question, and I want y'all to put in the chat box what it is that you think the answer is. It says, "By faith we understand that the universe was created by the word of God, so that what is seen was not made out of things that are visible." I'm going to read it one more time. "By faith we understand that the universe was created by the word of God, so that what is seen was not made out of things that are visible." Question is, what was the universe created by? All right, let's go ahead and go to, nope, that's not, don't go yet. Don't go yet. I forgot. You got to put it in the chat box. Put it in the chat box. All right, I'm looking. Okay, I see. Okay, all right. All right, let's go to the next slide. Let's go to the next slide. It was created by words. It said, listen, it says, by the word of God. Now watch this. God is the who. We're not talking about who. And the reason I asked this question is because I want us to understand we see words, but do we connect with words? The question was, what created the universe? What was the universe created by? And what's the most important part of that question? What? Not who, not where, not when, not how. It said what? And it's by words, okay? So when it comes to words, we've got to be very thoughtful and intentional as it relates to not only the definition, but what is it saying? What is it really trying to get us to understand? What is the clearly defined expectation with regard to the words? So let's go to the next slide because we're almost there. All right, so I want to throw this into you. There's a term that I learned about maybe 10 years ago called maxim, a maxim of law. And if you read there, you see the different perspectives about it. But the point about a maxim of law, this is a high level proposition or principle that's been accepted over time, and that it's something that's irrefutable. No matter how you look at it, it's irrefutable because it proves itself in and of itself. Okay, so let's go to the next slide, and I want to give you a maxim of law so you understand, and this is going to really bring us into, and we actually almost there, y'all. This is going to bring us into finishing up with the question that was asked. This maxim of law says, what's spoken flies, what's written remains, okay? What's spoken flies, what's written remains. Now, I'm going to ask you, based on this particular law, maxim of law, this particular proposition or principle, put in the chat box which one. So based on this statement, what do you think is being said is most important about words? Go ahead. Which one is most important? Which one is most powerful? It says what's spoken flies, what's written remains. Which one is most important? Okay. I see written. Let's see. Okay. Let's see. Anything else? Okay. Written. Words move faster. Okay. All right. Okay. Let's go to the next slide. All right. So as we get ready to bring this to a close, I want to make sure that we understand something very important. So I told you that my father passed in December of last year, 2019. So from the time my mother passed in 2006 all the way to 2019, experienced the death of some very key individuals in my life. And my father was that last one. Now I still have my grandfather living. He just turned 90 years old in August. So I'm very, very fortunate to be able to have his words of wisdom and, his presence in my life. Now, what I want to share with you is my dad actually did not just die. Not only did he not just die, he died unexpectedly. And not only did he die unexpectedly, he died by words. Now, I'll talk a little bit about the book that gives you that story, but in the book, I talk about this concept I'm going to bring to you real quick, and it's connected with what's spoken flies, what's written remains. I'm very clear and committed to the belief that each one of you, as you said, believes that written words are more important than verbal words. But here's the analogy. You see the hawks on the screen. You got one flying, and then you got one that's landed, and he's on a tree area there. Well, here's what you got to understand. A bird that flies in the air is beautiful, majestic. I mean, it's something that's captivating. And that bird, in order to truly be an effective, beneficial bird, it's also got to do something else other than fly. It's got to land because it's got to be refreshed. It's got to be rejuvenated. It's got to rest. It can reproduce, all of that. Well, can it land in the air? The answer is no. But here's the thing. Not only can it not land in the air, when it lands, does that mean because it is fixed to a surface that the verbal, oh, I'm sorry, I said that too quick. The flying of the bird is less important? No, they're both important. One is not more important than the other. They have a flow that they should have. They have a requirement, or in other words, there's an expectation. The bird is expected to fly, be beautiful and majestic, just like the bird is expected to nest and to rest and to be able to be fixed on either the ground or some tree or some type of surface. The same thing with our words, verbally spoken and written, captured written. Our words must be spoken. They must be communicated, because if they're not communicated, they can't be written on the subconscious of ourselves and others. But also, those words cannot be then given a value and a precedence with regard to what it is that's important and needs to be pursued. So you also have to speak, and it's just as important as writing. But if you fail to write consistent with your verbal, you can end up with the fate of my father. Oh man, you say, Leo, you're kind of excited here. No, I'm excited about the perspective and the truth. Oh yes, it hurt to see what actually unfolded with regard to my father, but it would hurt even more to not share with others the reality that, listen, don't just talk it, don't just say it, and don't even get to the point to where you write it and you don't write it completely consistent with what it should be. You got to write it and make sure it's clear as what it is you intend verbally. Because my dad's words were not as clear written as his verbal words were, it made it to where his life was able to be captured and taken and held back by an influence that was not in his interest. So I want to get off of that and go to the next and close this thing out. I want you all to know that you can actually get the message behind this. And I want to make sure I address the question directly before I share with you really the point here of why this slide is what it is. The question that Latasha asked was, which words have the most power? And the answer to that question is, they don't have more power than the other. They are not to be combative. Words are to be complementary. Words are to focus everything and be in full context. Matter of fact, I was doing some reading and study today, and what I came to is this: when we deal with our words, y'all getting this fresh. Nobody else has this but my wife, so y'all getting ready to get this fresh. All right. When it comes to life, we must follow this process, and this is a huge part. If you already have gone through this process with Latasha, if you are getting ready to go through this process with Latasha, or you're getting ready to do it again, and the work that she's doing is connected with this, the first thing we do with anything in life is that we see something. Once we see a need, a benefit, or opportunity, it causes us to then think about what can be done, think about what's possible. And then once we think about what is possible, the next thing we do is we develop an expectation. We have a belief and a strong desire. There's a statement called a burning desire. That's one of the things that Napoleon Hill talks about, a burning desire. You establish an expectation, and then after that expectation, you have execution. And then after that execution, you assess what you've executed on, and you continue to assess it to make sure it gets to where it needs to get. And then you approve it and make sure you seal it. You see? So what happens is, how we deal with our words is very important, because it is the fullness of whether or not we have respect for what words really are. And that is for them to be the means of bringing out of the immaterial into the material, bringing out of the spiritual into the natural, bringing out of the mind into our earth environment. And that is why I love the fact that one of my core beliefs is to be a creator, is to create. So I want to share with you all that this book is certainly designed to expose the silent threat and the danger that your words can become a weapon and take you and others out. And listen, for the next 60 days, starting tomorrow, I am going on the hunt for every ear, for every mind that will hear, receive, and listen to this message, to understand what needs to be done to make sure that the silent threat of words becoming a weapon is not a challenge or an issue for you. So for you all tonight, there is about 2 more hours, a little less than 3 hours, that you can actually get this audio book at a discounted price and be able to engulf yourself in the 4.5 hours of the content of this book and be able to truly see not only what happened to my father, but how you could fit within the context of that if you don't deal with your words within the true reality of their power, which is a complementary relationship and not a combative. You'd be surprised how many people don't understand the combat that they are putting themselves in by not making sure that their words are in the congruent connection that they need to be. So let's go. That brings us to the next slide here. I want you to know that, you know, one of the interesting things about the other 2 books that I wrote, and they're not in audio version yet, they will be by the end of this year. The things my daddy said, you know, it really shows the value of the importance of speaking, but it doesn't capture the reality of writing. Okay. But here's the thing, I wrote down what he said. And so now my children and other people are going to see it for years to come. And I'm going to be able to use that. But also the 2 keys for highly exceptional teams. When you get into this content, you will see that the 2 keys, if my father had given respect for these 2 keys, understood exactly what was expected of him, and then took responsibility, he would have been in a position to where his life would very likely still be in his power rather than the power of the grave. So let's move to the next one and be able to bring this to a close. So Latasha shared with you all that I have, you know, my podcast out there, and I tell you, this is a huge piece of my life at this point. But I think the biggest part is that it's a manifestation, listen to me carefully, of what I said. So when my father died, and in January timeframe, I realized that there was a lot of things I needed to deal with that I wasn't anticipating, which that's where most of what the book came out of, was all the things I had to deal with. I had to stop doing my vlog, which was the Extra Mile with Leo, but it was just a vlog at that point. And once I, you know, got going in the things I need to deal with, I said, before I even stopped it for that period of time, I said, I need to take a break. I need to rest, but don't quit. But I will be coming back and there will be a podcast. And so here it is. You see the physical manifestation of what I said. So I want you to see that that's the reality. But I think the biggest thing that I want to leave with you all is this. I need you to know that if you are impressed upon to write and to capture that writing in audio and video in various forms, you have been called to something very special. And why do I say that? You have been called to influence people through the thing that creates universe, creates world, creates life. And so do not hold back on being a creator of words. Do not hold back, because if you do, you're literally not only a quitter, but you're more of a liar. Because if you say that I want to do, if you say I will do, I'm a writer, I'm going to write this book, and you don't bring it into reality, you have violated the reality of your existence, because you were spoken before you were ever manifested. You violate a true essence of everyday life. Nothing comes about without there first being a seeing of it, a thinking of it, and an expectation of it. But if we stop there and don't go into expectation to execution, we are killing not only ourselves, but we're killing the fruitfulness of the future. We're killing lives beyond our imagination. So I'm gonna get off my soapbox. I'm done. I'm done, Latasha. You can open it up for questions, all of that. I probably went longer, but I just had to go ahead and get that out.
No
But
worries.
thank
That
y'all
was
so
perfect. I would like everybody to get up and give him a standing ovation. I think that was amazing. I want him to hear the clapping.
Thank y'all. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. Thank y'all so
Oh my
much.
God.
Thank y'all.
Thank you for giving that Les Brown quote. I knew I butchered it.
Oh, you were close though. You were close. If life knocks you down, try to land on your back. Because if you can look up, you can get up. Let your reasons get you up. Hold up. Let me say it differently. Let me say it differently real quick, Latasha. Let your words get you up.
Ooh.
Let your words get you up, everybody. Let your words get you up. Your reasons are words. Are they clearly defined? Are they very intentional? And listen to me. I forgot to say this. I'm going to say it real quick. There's a quote by Jim Rohn. He says, if you don't design your own life plan, chances are you'll fall into someone else's. And guess what they might have planned for you? Not much. Not much. Let your reasons get you up, not someone else's reasons. Let your words get you up. I'm done with the soapbox. I'm done. I'm done with the soapbox.
Let's take a picture, you guys, and then we're going to get to some questions. I know we went way over. It's almost 7:30, but that's okay. I'll be on here till 7:45 for anybody that wants to talk, ask questions, share, listen to his voice some more. No, y'all got to get the audio book for that. Let's, any questions? If you want to take a picture, go ahead and turn your video back on so we can see your face. I'm going to take a picture in 5 seconds. So 5, 4. Dolores is on the East Coast. She said, getting ready for bed, tired. Okay, no worries. I'm on my desktop. My apologies. No camera. That's okay. We can still take a picture of your beautiful face that's there, Coach Mac. You got a good picture right there, a still picture. There's Dolores. Ooh, you got your hair done.
Okay, 99.
You said 99?
99. Great speech. Thanks for sharing with us, Leo.
Thank you. You're very welcome.
Glad I stayed up for it.
Let your words get you up, huh?
That's right. A good word always keeps you up.
Oh, man.
All right, let's do this. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Picture. One more. Boom. Night, night, y'all. I'm going to stay on here. I'm staying on for anybody that wants to talk. That was awesome, Leo.
Thanks,
Awesome.
Leo. Thank you so much. Wow.
Mind,
Confirmations. Thank you.
mind blown.
I gotta run and do another video with the wife. So my words are gonna get up. Bye.
We still have 2 iPhones. And then Anne Marie, how are you, Anne Marie? I'm gonna turn your audio back on. So I clicked ask to unmute, and hopefully your audio will come back on. So you should get a notification right now that says something about the host is asking for your audio to be unmuted. And then Latondra, I think your iPhone, it says iPhone connecting to audio, so something's happening with the signal. Okay, I'm gonna go into the chat and see what we've got. Okay. All right, Stephanie, oh no, Kelvin said, no, let me go all the way back. Kelvin said multiplication formula is a perfect analogy, so he liked that. Stephanie said, so sorry for your deep losses. And then Kelvin said, Murphy's Law then has monumental meaning for storytelling, and you're doing a fantastic job. And then he said, let there be phrase word. Stephanie says, but the world was created by God, his hand written. And then Kelvin says, words move faster. And then Kelvin said, sounds like a great mission you have, Leo. And Coach Mac said, thank you for sharing your story, Leo. It means a lot. And Kelvin says, you're preaching. Stephanie said, let your words get you up. I need that on a t-shirt.
Oh, okay.
That's an idea. Yeah, get that on a t-shirt. I'm gonna buy that from you. Dolores said amen. Stephanie said thank you. iPhone said very good. Stephanie really enjoyed. Good night. Stephanie's on the East Coast too. Dolores said she's getting ready for bed. Coach Mac, camera wasn't working. iPhone, I don't know how to unmute. Okay, I'm gonna, as the host, I'm able to ask for you to unmute. So I'm just gonna click this button, ask. I'm also gonna click ask to start video. And then you have the option if you would like to respond to my ask. And I know we didn't get to the elevator speeches, but that's okay. Coach Mac, hey, Anne Marie. I saw you for a second. Coach Mac has her motivational grind website up. She put that in the chat for everybody if you want to check out her website. She's here like all the time, so she'll probably be back next week. And I'll have her do her. I usually put everybody on the spot and have them do their elevator pitch so they can practice, because a lot of us are entrepreneurs, but we're shy about it sometimes. Hey, Anne-Marie. I can't hear you. I can see you though. I just appreciate you being on Zoom for the first time with us. I know it's awkward. iPhone, both of the iPhones, no audio. Something's happening. Let's see, there's more stuff happening in the chat. Okay, Coach, let's see, Coach Mac, Nicole says, thanks and blessings to all. Please take a look at my GoFundMe page and my website. Thanks, Latasha. I have an early morning good night. Yeah, she's on the East Coast, so she's out. Okay, I'm gonna stop the recording right now.